And
Okay.
thankfully the Instagram one is,
Here we are.
yes, here we are. Here we are. So we are live. Oh, yay. All right. Thanks, Peace. So we are live. And today we
Excellent.
are back at it with our Healers Talk Mondays. The last couple weeks, Jacob was at a workshop. So we want to actually talk about that. I'm super excited about this. My name is Anuschka Alborz.
Yes.
I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
Hello, and I am Jacob Moya, and I am also an energy healer, all things energy researcher, and and always in search for stuff that will help me and others, in that order.
Yes.
And I can explain that why.
Yeah, and I am really excited about this because I've personally just learned so much from you as well in my healing
Thank you.
journey. So I always am appreciative of you, and yeah,
I appreciate it.
you're an amazing soul. So thank you for
Thank
always
you.
coming first, and then
Thank
showing us the way. So
you.
yeah, so I
You're
would
very
love
welcome.
to have you just share your experience, and for those that don't know Dr. Joe Dispenza too, do you mind actually giving a bit of an
Yeah, an overview. Right. Yes, and the reason why I went there, it's also important. I've been a channeler for many years and practicing deep meditations, and I find a lot of awareness and a lot of my teachings, a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I learn it inside of me while going into a deep meditation. Now, because first of all, I'm an Aquarius, so I'm on Woo land all the time, and that's my happy place. It didn't bother me that I didn't have like physical or scientific um, background or basis on the stuff that I was experiencing. What I care was that I was seeing that people that I was working with was affected positively, or they were not. They going through a process of healing, and then they go back to where they were before, or sometimes even lower. But I couldn't understand why, energy wise, I couldn't see it, but I couldn't understand the reasons why. Now I've been working for a holistic clinic as a director of programs for a while already. And I will say, well, a while for me is a year, because I'm an Aquarius, right? So I tend to change a lot. So
me and you both?
yeah, and the thing is that they allowed me here to play with a lot of things and experiment, because this is a research center as well. It's not a scientific research center, but it's more like a holistic research center. So we are trying to figure out things and merge machines with the energetic healing, and have more like a solid base and replicable systems that we can then apply to more people, following a specific protocol. So that's what we're doing here, discovering protocols. Now, in order for us to discover protocols, we have to go in and try many different things with many different people. And every time that I hit a bump on the road, like something that I work for another person, I am applying with the person and it's not working, then they allow me to go inside of me and try to find answers, try to find reasons or adjustments to what we are doing. But doing that, searching for answers, I come across videos of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I start getting, of course I know about him and Bruce Lipton and all those people, but it was just like any other person that you come across, right? That you play a video, you listen to stuff, and that makes sense. Oh, no, it doesn't make sense for me. And then you move on. But now because I was searching for a specific cancer, I start going deep into the knowledge, because no matter where I went to, I end up getting into his work again and again. So the reason it's because they
Real quick, so you were saying you were researching for a specific cancer? Is that what I heard you say?
No, case, for a specific case.
Okay.
Case, yeah.
Case. Okay, got it.
Right. And so I wanted to see the reason why someone was not working or not healing, and then during my research, I learned about all the people that using and applying his system heal themselves. And it was like all kinds of illness, right? And it was like, oh, okay, so this thing interests me, right? Because he is teaching this to normal people, you know. It's like any other person that you walk on the street, if they want to, that's the secret. If they want to, they can learn his stuff and then apply it. And I was like, okay, so there's no need to channel all those weird things that I do. So that's how I got interested. And then I started learning more about his things, and you know, synchronicities of life. You receive a lot of spam email. I also receive a lot of spam email. And or probably I sign up sometime, I have no idea, but then eventually appears on my email an invitation to go to his event. And I am like, I don't know about this, you know, because I searched and it was quite a bit of money, and then the trip and the expense of the place that you're gonna stay at and all that stuff, and then stop working for a few days. But I always walk through the doors that open. And no matter who I ask about it or got information from, they always were telling me that it was very, very difficult to get into his workshops, that they sold out in like 10 minutes, something like that, you know? And I was like, but I got an invitation here, you know? And I click on the link, and yep, it was open. You know, my invitation was open. So it was like, it's gotta be something, right? It's gotta be something. And then I tried to search for 2 spaces, and I was able to get 2 spaces. And then I said 3, and no, it was not 3 spaces. So I said, well, maybe this is for my mother. So I call up my mother, and I have this invitation. Do you want to join me and do this thing with me? And it's about healing. That this was the advanced workshop. And my mother is like, no, and I don't want to try new things. That's okay. And then I said, well, maybe it's for my daughter, you know. And I call up my daughter, and she's like, okay, I do it, you know. And I was like, holy cow, first time ever that she really want to work, because my daughter also can see energies and stuff, you know. So she's, since she was a little one, and it's kind of like. She's kind of afraid of dying and afraid of the energies, but she don't want to work with me. And she only comes to me when there's something major going on in her life, and I just take care of that little piece, and she moves on, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, she only asked me a question. She said, why do you think that this is good for me? And because I already been working with him and seeing a lot of stuff from him, I told her, you know, because his stuff is my stuff, but grounded, you know, in a way that you can apply it to your physical life. Mm-hmm. And not only to the spiritual side of things. And if you do this properly and you really immerse into the program, you won't need more therapy in your life, you know, no more therapy, because you're going to be your self-therapist. And she's like, I mean, those were the magic words. I mean, so I said, okay, amazing. And so anyway, that's how I end up going, right? Now, before I go, I didn't share this information with anybody, but I had a client that was dealing with an issue, and it's complicated, and I couldn't make her understand. So I said, well, why don't you check this thing about Joel Dispenza? This was on a Friday. And then on Friday night, she sent me a link about the Gaia series where there's Joe Dispenza explaining all these things. And I just, well, there you go for it. And if you get stuck, let me know and I can help you. You know, I can answer the questions and guide you. Now she gave up anyway. And, but then she talked to another person that she got awakened in a trip to Sedona. And it was like, just came to her, and when she was introduced to me, she was all shaky and couldn't know how to control all these things. So I helped her out and become friends. And then this friend calls me and she tells me, I just knew that you are going to see Dispenza. And I said, yes. He said, I'm going too. I said, which one are you going? It's just that, like in a couple of weeks or next week. I was like, oh, no, my stuff is until the end of April. And she's like, oh my God, this is something. And I said, yeah, well, his work and my work is pretty similar, but he explained it in a way that everybody
He's a neuroscientist too. So and like quantum is exactly.
So I said, actually, he's a chiropractor. And then he got an A degree or something like that in neuroscience. And he got other certifications because on the thing for his workshop, they give all his credentials. But the thing is that he's been very vested and invested learning about the brain, right? And but not only at a scientific level, because the problem with the scientific way of doing things is that you search for reasons, or you search for which part of the brain is working with what and why. Those are, you send a hypothesis and you try to prove it, and if it's right, boom, you got the answers, and then you start running samples and studies and all that stuff. But his stuff, and the reason why I like it more is because he brings all that knowledge, and he said like okay, how does this gonna help someone to understand where they are and where they need to be, and how this information can connect with my meditations. That's how he do it. And so if like, for example, the stuff that I learned about the brain with him at the workshop differs a little bit with the things that I search that is being posted in scientific papers from researchers. But that doesn't mean that it's not, because even the scientific papers tell you this is what we think and this is what we figure out so far. Because my understanding is that they don't really know how it works. It's just too complicated. It's just a massive thing that we have on the brain, and now in our heart. So I kind of like his way of putting things, because it's very, very mainstream. So it's easier to digest. And so that's the reason why I end up going to this place, right? Now, before I go, I have to
Can I just add something in case people,
sure.
Because like one thing that I love about Joe Dispenza is like he does bring spirit and science, and he shows like how the two of them actually can be explained via science.
Right.
I went live earlier and someone asked me like, is there's evidence that spirit doesn't exist? And so I actually said, no coincidence, right? And I actually said, check out Joe Dispenza. And then there is actually a way to actually, and I know we're hitting the tip of the iceberg when it comes to spirit, connecting it with science, but that's one of the, like him and of course Bruce Lipton, right? So that's one of the things I wanted to share, and the fact that he was able to heal himself too. So it like make sure people understand that he was told that you're never, I think they
gonna walk again,
right? He, like, could be paralyzed for life, and he said no, that's not going to be the case, and he kept envisioning himself walking, and then he kept taking actions towards that vision, and little by little, I mean, look at him now, right? So,
and the thing here is that he explained why, at the workshop, because if you purchase in his website any of the workshops, he have 2 or 3 different workshops on his website. They all are talking about the same. It's the same information. It's just digested in a different way in each one of the workshops, but it's all the same. It's all the same. It's this very same knowledge. It's sympathetic mode, parasympathetic mode, right? The stress mode, or relax and rebuild state, and in my case, I explained that about living with your higher chakras or living with your lower chakras. He don't use the word chakras, he uses energy centers, right? Using your lower energy centers is where all the emotions are trapped. we have the same information, you know, because we receive it from the same source. Right. Pretty much, you know, it's like, yeah, this is where we have all this trauma. But he goes a step further and tells you, okay, if you're receiving energy from the perineum, and we talk about this on the meditations, that's the reason why we sit on the floor, that's the reason why we sit the way we sit to meditate, so we can grab the energy from the air, run it through there, going all the way up. And he's like, well, yeah, but also the craniosacral pump and that fluid that is usually stuck in your lower chakras or lower energy centers, let's bring it all the way up to the pineal gland, you know, and let's start pumping all that energy into the pineal gland until you break all those crystals and start touching all the different areas that needs to touch to activate your extrasensorial abilities, you know. And for him, it's like it's just science. I mean, this is what happens, you know. And he have a lot of people. One of the things that was impressive to me is that he have a strong group of groupies, you know, that is following him to each workshop. And in my case, I usually don't do that thing, but I understood after talking to them why. You know, it's because they are really so sensitive right now that when they feel the meditations from 1,300 people at the same time working towards the same goal, I mean, it's hard to experience that on your own. It's not impossible though, but it's hard, you know. And then the other thing that I noticed is that many people got his information and apply it exactly as it, you know. And that's the same problem that Buddha have with his teachings. You know, his teachings were just, this is what I discover. Now take this information and run with it, you know, and see what you can discover for yourself and see how you can apply this. And this is what worked for me. See if it works for you. And if it doesn't, just follow your inner guidance and apply it. Right. And people are getting frustrated because they want to experience what he's talking about and when other people experience there, but they are not willing to make any adjustments because he's not telling them exactly which adjustments to make, right? So that's kind of like where we are now. That's the overview, you know. Sure.
I ask you something with that though. So I know his methods, a lot of it is meditation, and that's how you can prolong your life and really start to get in touch with your intuition and inner guidance and heal and all that stuff. So I'm assuming the workshop, obviously, like you mentioned, had quite a bit of meditation.
Oh, a lot of them.
And so that's what I'm curious, like how much was it meditation versus lecture
information? Okay. Yeah. It's I will say like probably 70-30, probably 70-30, being 70 the meditations.
Wow.
30 the information, or maybe even 40-60, somewhere around there. The thing is that
I just
really okay. Let me just, for people like us, we've been practicing my way of meditating. It's a little bit challenging. His meditations and his methods are challenging because he's bringing his meditations to the normal guy, right? That is meditating for the very first time. But they don't, like for example, in our meditations, we clear our aura, we clear our chakras, we relax ourselves, and then we start the meditation. They don't do any of that. They do all that while on the meditation.
Oh, okay.
So it takes them 30-40 minutes to get to the level that they need to be at, you know, to go deep after that into the thing that they need to go, you know. And in our case, we use a shortcut, you know, we just clear everything before we go into that, so we can reach the deepest stages like very, very fast. Now, it's been challenging trying to merge both methods, but I've been working on it, you know, and trying to find out the way to do it. Because if I listen to his meditations, first of all, I am not used to being guided. you know. And so if I'm having a conversation with someone, I am using the part of the brain that is contrary to the one that I need to use for meditations, right? So if I'm doing a conversation, I am going entirely left brain, and I'm trying to make sense of the information and you know, to be on the steps and trying to absorb whatever is taken to me and try to feel inside my body. When I go into meditation, I just remove myself, and all the talking that I'm doing is just coming, and I'm just throwing it out. You know, I don't have to think about it. It's just comes out, and I'm doing it first. It's like I am 1 or 2 seconds ahead of everybody in the group, doing the things. And then I say, I remember that I have people with me, and I explain them what I'm going through, what I'm doing. His meditations is the other way. I need to be a couple seconds below, right? I'm gonna receive the information and then process that information and do it. So it's been challenging for me, but that doesn't mean that it's bad at all. It's just that I'm used to doing something else. So at one point, I start switching, and I said, you know what? I mean, while he's doing his instructions for the people, and it's taking, I don't know, 10 minutes, I got vibrating, you know? And I know what's next, you know, so I just gonna go through the steps on my own, and each other, and I continue with that. And to be honest, I have great feelings from stuff that I thought that it was already gone and healed, and it just show up, right? Now, when I go to a place like this, I completely surrender myself to the experience. I don't try to judge or say this is right, this is wrong. He's not trying to check his energy when he's talking, or try to check the energy. No. I'm as a student, absorbing like everybody else and applying everything to the T until I find that I cannot do it, and then I have to do it in a different way. And that's what I end up doing. And I had the opportunity, because of synchronicity, sitting with people that was having a hard time trying to reach to the levels, and I tell them, well, you know what, this is because your brain's disconnected, and I show them, you know, this is how you're working right now. So let's activate your brain, and let's do these breathings, and follow me. They were there, and it's like, okay, start your meditation now, you know. And it's like, oh my God, what a change. Yeah, you know, it's because I know at that energetic level, not at a scientific level, what's going on. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting. The other thing that I learned is about why some people are able to heal and why other people are not able to heal. Mm. And the reason is the brain waves. You know, the people that I am able to heal is people that go into the places where they are reaching these gamma waves, gamma brain waves. And the other people that are not able to heal is because they are too stuck in the sympathetic mode, in the stress mode. And the brain is so used to, because I was, you know, digesting that information after we came back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, how can I bring all this information down to my clients and what's going on there? And I started paying attention to everything, and I was like, yeah, because what I see is that they are not connecting. That's what I'm telling to someone, you know. When they asked me how was the session, I said, I don't know, because they were not connecting. But I couldn't explain what connecting mean. I can see it, you know, I can feel it, but I cannot know how to tell them, you know, what I mean with connecting. Right. And the way that he says is when you move out of yourself, you know, when you remove yourself out of yourself, when you become nothing, no one, no time, no thing, you know, it's like go to the unknown, you know, where you are just energy.
No expectation either, right? No expectation, no attachment. I feel like those are big as well.
It's well, his stuff is beautiful because and this is something new for me. On my stuff, I always work with intention. because I know that the intention is coming from your brain, and your brain is connecting to heaven. So it's very powerful. You know, I want to heal. It's like that. His stuff, it's more about, you don't even need to have an intention, because if you have an intention, you are in what he calls a third dimension energy, you know, which is lower energy. Is because you have an intention because you feel a lack of what you are trying to bring into your life, right? Like, I have an intention to heal myself. Like in your case, let's use your case, since we are always using you, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have the intention of become pregnant, right?
Yes.
So that means that somewhere in your consciousness, there's this information that is letting you know that you are not able to. So you are still too physical to allow a miracle to come through you and make it happen, right? So you need to just remove yourself, because your higher self already knows what you want.
Yeah.
You know, it's very aware because you've been wishing it for a while. So it's just like, get out of the way, go into an energetic mode, just be one with the source. And while you are connecting, then everything gets reprogrammed and readjusted inside of you. And now, as a theory, it will be like, okay, well, we can give it a shot. But now when you have science behind you and it's proving you, and you have a lot of remissions from stuff like psoriasis, from arthritis, from what is it called, this Parkinson's disease, from anxiety, all that, alcoholism, you know, all those things, and people are just coming out of the meditation, and it's like, you know, oh my God, I'm different, you know, and there's no shakes and there's no pains, that kind of thing. It's because your body already knows. It's like you never had an intention when you were a little baby to grow up. It was just happening because it was part of you. It's part of, yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is. Oh, but like for example, I work a lot with biodecodification, you know, which is like bringing yourself to understand why is it that you are attracting those experiences, and why is it that you are feeling these emotions towards those experiences, right? And trying to figure out what is the source and work with that and heal it and so on and so forth. Well, his stuff is like, who knows, who cares? Just get out of the way, because you wouldn't be here because if it wasn't for all these. So all these things is what brings you to this point in your life, you know, to this awakening. Just run with it, you know, and forget about everything else. Just let it be, and just go deep and deep and deep and deep and deep. And as you're going deeper and deeper into your meditations, you start having all these awakenings, you know, and yes, I mean, the crying and then the feeling this immense amount of love. But the difference, in my case, for example, when I go through an awakening and someone starts channeling, and I don't know if you remember when we have this, in your case, that I usually brings me to tears, because it's experiencing this unconditional, massive amount of love. Well, the difference is that I live it at a spiritual level, and he brings it down into a physical level, you know, into manifesting your wildest dreams, you know, into having a rebirth, into crying because you are becoming someone else at a physical level, leaving that other part of yourself behind. It's like if you are dying and then choosing a different experience on your new life. Before, you needed to go out of this planet, check out of the body, and then start all over again. Right. And now he, because of the energy of the earth, he's saying, just let it be. You know, just let that old version of yourself die, grab everything that you need to grab with you, choose whatever you want to choose. Now that you're wiser, now that you leave everything, forgive and forget, and let's go into the real stuff. And the real stuff for him is this connection with source, right? And so for him, for example, it doesn't matter if you drink or you eat gluten or you eat, it's like, no, I mean, I just activate the genes that I need to activate inside of my body to be healthy, and to be calm and to be happy, and then deactivate the other ones. And it's on that process, on that awakening. They take the information and then it's like, what is it that you want to experience? Who do you want to become? Like, for example, in your case, well, I'm going to become mom. Okay. So it's beautiful stuff, great stuff. It's strongly recommended for people that are very physical, because they can understand and they can have all the scientific background. In my workshop, synchronicities, right?
Yeah.
There were the guys, the researchers from UC San Diego. These are the guys, the team that were running the experiments for NASA when they have twins split and one went to the moon and stayed there on the space station for almost a year, and the other one stayed here. So they were checking on both of them. Of course, the other one was long way away, but they were checking the differences, how they were when they were here together, and then what happened after the experience, to really have a sequence on the genes and see if the lack of gravity and lack of grounding affect the genes. And I don't know what happened in that study. I haven't read it yet, but those are the team that were running this research for Joe Dispenza, and when they are talking, it's like, well, we are actually doing the seminar because we are seeing so much good stuff here that we want to experience it as well.
Right.
So that also gives you a lot of like whoa, and they proved to the blood. They took blood and they showed you. These are lab studies. No. I mean, they were running a study right there, but they also have lab studies from the previous workshop. And they were saying that, they were showing us how they infected with a COVID-like virus cells on a regular person, on a new meditator, and on an experienced meditator of his meditation groups, and how the body reacted on the experienced meditator, and the virus just couldn't come. Couldn't just dissolve itself. And then on the new person, of course, he get infected, and the new meditator, it was like 50-50, And then they have a group of brain scientists from Santa Barbara running the brain experiments, and also talking about all that, and talking about the coherence, right, between brain and your heart and your whole body, and how that is needed in order for you to heal yourself. Regardless of if you're using medicine or you're not using medicine, it's like, that's the reason why some people get healed and some other people don't get healed. It's because you give yourself permission to heal by being in coherence, through the brain waves into your heart and into the rest of the body. So, I mean, very interesting stuff.
No different than the mind, body, spirit having that connection. Is like what I'm hearing.
Well, it is, but when we're talking about body, we usually connect the body from the head up, with your intention and going there, right? That's how we do it in our meditations.
In the meditation.
In his meditations, before they go into that, they bring coherence into the energy centers, into the physical energy centers of the body. So we, for example, in our meditations, we always start in the heart, and from the heart, we move up. In his meditations, they also start in the heart, but from the heart, they move down. To try to, because remember that in his case, there's a lot of sick people seeking his stuff, right? So they're healing the specific stuff.
Yeah.
So they usually go all the way down, and from there they start moving up and up and up and up and up and up, you know.
Okay.
And that's what it is. And it was beautiful. I mean, because definitely it created a lot of changes in a lot of things for the people. Yeah. So it's beautiful. I mean, I learned a lot. That's I mean, and I also now I'm gonna start trying new things, of course, you know, grabbing his information, his research. Now I'm gonna do other things, you know, and see what happens, you know, like right now I'm waiting for a stethoscope, and you know, to hear your heart, but you can hear it on your telephone. And just what I want is to bring people down to the most relaxed level.
We say that part again, kind of.
And then record the heart. You hear me? Hello.
It's kind of like
yeah,
a robotic thing. So
yeah,
talk about this.
Yeah. It's just being able to listen to your heart through the meditation, you know, and see what happens, and play with that stuff.
That sounds
so
one thing I'm like curious about, and I feel like you already answered it, but I know a lot of people are always like, oh, but I don't, like 20 minutes is too long. And I know that's one of the things Joe Dispenza a lot of times will say is like, you want to do at least 20 minutes. And I do feel like it's a lot of that has to do with what you said to begin with, where they're not starting from a neutral place to begin with. Because I notice that when I do that, when I neutralize myself, clear my aura, clear my chakras and whatnot, then I can get into deep meditation a lot quicker.
Right away, yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be 20, because to me, time, it's like there's no such thing as time, really, when you're in the spirit world anyway. So I just want to really, I guess, shine light on the fact that if you're thinking you have to do it for 20 minutes, that's not the case when it comes to meditation. And you can go deeper if that's what you choose.
This is the thing in applying his information, okay? Like you said, when you are there, you don't feel time, right? We go there and we don't feel time. I mean, and if you start feeling time, it's because you are not connected. You're out of sync. So you have to do your breathing again and start all over again to reach that level. The second thing that is important is during this conversation, I talked to you about getting out of the way and allowing your body to change and transform itself. Now, what do you think that is gonna bring more benefit into your body and into your cells? 5 minutes of meditation, or an hour, or even 4 hours, because he have a couple days of 4 hours meditations, you know? What do you think?
Well,
I mean, if you allow your body for 4 hours to rebuild itself, and to help you to manifest what you want, is gonna be way more powerful than if you only do it for 5 minutes, right?
And what I want to say to that, though, because some people are like, well, if I want to take this practice on every day, and so that's the more what I'm speaking of in a workshop, 100%. I wanted to go and do the Vipassana 10-day retreat, which is like, I think 10-hour meditations a day, and then COVID happened, so I haven't had a chance. And I look forward to doing something like that, because I want to have that experience of like that, just I guess intense is the right word, but it's like really an intense experience, because you're with yourself for that long period of time. And apparently you can't really talk at all. So it's like a silent meditation for the most part. So I want that experience. And there are days where I'm like, okay, I only can do 5 minutes this morning. I don't stop myself from doing the meditation, because I'm like, oh, but it's only 5 minutes. still 5 minutes when you're doing a deep enough meditation, I feel like is still something more than not doing it.
Exactly. It's way better because on those 5 minutes, remember that you have to do the breathing. So you are realigning your chakras. You have to get out of the way. So you're relaxing yourself. You're bringing your sympathetic mode and releasing the parasympathetic, and well, actually backwards, bringing up your parasympathetic, releasing the sympathetic. Those 5 minutes. So of course, it's better than nothing. It's way better than nothing, right? But definitely this is something that you have to do. You know, it's something that you have to try it, because like I said, I mean, most of my awareness, everything that I learned inside of me. Most of what Joe Dispenza learned, he learned inside of him. You know, it's like that's where the information is, because you connect with something that is way more powerful. And let me give you an example of how powerful this can be. We flew through Southwest, so you know you need to check, and there's open seating, and so the sooner that you check, the more chances you have to grab a seat with a space, right? I am 6'2", so having a space in my seat is quite important for me. So my daughter told me, well, I check early, but still, you know, we are B35 or 33, something like that. So that means that row A, 1 to 30, 31 to 60, you know, and row B, 1 to 30, a board before us. And I was like, okay, time to connect it to the place of possibilities, you know, and let's ask for what we want. So we sat together in our room, and we match breathing patterns, and we match our heart palpitations, and we went into meditation, and we went deep at the same time, and we went up into like what we call the 8 and 9 chakras, you know, all those chakras. And over there in the place of possibilities, we said that we deserve flying back with enough room in our seat, that we were choosing to fly in a door, you know, in an emergency door seat. And we actually make it very specific, and it's going to be on the left side, in the middle of the plane, and so on and so forth. And guess where we came?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so it was important, especially for my daughter, because she's more like physical, right?
Yeah.
And she also, let me tell you another thing.
I was just going to say the same, very similar experience has happened with me and Ashkan several times. And he always, because, you know, similar, very physical and sometimes skeptical, but he believes in the whole law of attraction and whatnot. And it happens so many times where he just like looks at me and I'm like, haha, magic.
Yeah, exactly. So now if we manifest that, we can manifest other things, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing. So it's beautiful. It's a great experience, because for her, we were eating normal. I wouldn't say that we were watching the amount of food that we were eating, but we were eating format. A lot of snacks. I mean, they really, the workshop was like $2,000 plus everything else, right? And I will say that this is the first workshop that I go to that they have really good quality food, you know, good quality food for all type of people. And then in each break, they have coffee breaks with the snacks, and the snacks were good, you know, so we were grabbing snacks for later, you know, because we only have breakfast and lunch and no dinners. And so it was for us, it was eating that for dinner, the snacks. And she lose weight and I lose weight, you know, during the meditation, just by being in sync. Because like I said, I wasn't paying attention to my diet, you know, although it was my intention. And I avoid eating chicken and meat, you know, I still lose weight, you know. It was good. It was a good experience.
Well, right here is that you just surrender to the experience and no thought of like,
Right.
you always make comments about pizza and how pizza's bad. And
Yeah.
none of that conversation happening. And so
Oh
therefore,
yeah. Yeah, because since day one, you are creating the new version of yourself, right? The new you.
yeah.
And you are allowed to be the new you. So that's what it is, you know. And I think that's what happens, and I love it. I really love it. It was beautiful. I learned a lot. I make community with people.
Yeah. So that, what are the top 3 things that you would say you learned that you want to share with us?
Well,
If you can put it that way.
Yeah. The thing is I learned some things for me that is gonna be hard for me to share with you guys, but because, for example, for me, it was very gratifying. Oh, lower formal. I'm so sorry because I have a sign pop up here. For me, it was having the scientific background of on the stuff that I learned while going into meditation. You know, another thing is that someone else is also reaching inside and grabbing all this information from inside of him, right, and bringing it out and share with people, and that also it's beautiful for me because. It allowed me to know and to understand that I'm not crazy, right? That all these things that I think and believe and see are real for other people going through different methods, right? A complete different method than mine, you know. And another thing that is beautiful is community. You know, I'm very alone when it comes to friendships and stuff like that, because you know, the vibe of going into a get together and then killing the reputation of someone that is not present just because of it, to have fun and entertain ourselves, just don't match with me, you know. And I also don't do drugs, and the people that is following him is like, they're not going through ayahuasca, they're not going through hallucinogenics, they're not using DMT or marijuana or anything, you know. They're just going in, and that is also what I learned, you know. Now they take it a step further than me at a physical level, which is you can eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want. You know, what it matters is how you connect, you know, and don't do things that are not aligned with you. You know, like, for example, alcohol is not aligned with me. So I don't want to start doing it because it's not aligned with me, right? It's
not gonna
no.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if someone is a wine drinker, they can keep drinking their wine. You know, if someone is a dessert eater, they can still eat the desserts. You know, I can still eat my pizza. You know, kind of like that thing.
Yeah,
so
I would say that's where I always share about the 80-20 too, because it's like when
yes,
you have that mindset where you can 80% of, because hey, we want to also
yeah.
get our body well. That's at least my perspective.
Totally because we see the results. We see the results, right? Now in his case, they take it a step further. It is like, I can have your same results without going to the extremes that you go to. And it's like, okay, that's fine, you know, but I'm not there yet, you know. So it's like I still gotta watch it. But anyway, those are the things.
Like, so it's like saying, oh, eat pizza, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, all day.
Yeah. It's ain't gonna happen.
Like, I don't think that's be possible.
No, and your body's gonna feel very dense. You know, your body's gonna feel, your energy is gonna feel very weak. Now you can push your energy, and this is one of the differences that I find between Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins, right? Because I know Tony Robbins because one of his stepsons is it was a close friend of my former wife. So she was on the board of directors of some of their companies and stuff like that. So I know them, right? And so the differences that I find is like if you see he have a documentary Netflix, I Am Not Your Guru.
Yeah.
And if you see it, before he goes into stage, he goes through his whole ritual to activate himself.
Yeah.
And because I have this relationship with him, I was able to go to many of his seminars, but because I wasn't paying for them, I wasn't going all in, right, on the seminars. You know, I probably went the first time, but what I noticed is that he says exactly the same thing at the exactly same time, exactly the same jokes in each one of the seminars. I mean, he become an actor playing a part when he's talking to the people. So he's transmitting the energy, he's pushing the energy, he's giving his soul, but it's exactly the same dialogue, you know? In this other case, Joe Dispenza
is what we're saying. Like what you're saying, he doesn't channel the information. He just
nothing. He still have a wounded child inside of him that he keeps in a cage under control through his methods. And that's NLP, you know, become aware of it and control it, change your state, shift, you know, reframe it. That's NLP. And in my case, it didn't resonate with me. That's why I didn't follow him all the way, although I have the possibility because of that. You know, I still saw him throwing names of very powerful and important people every time that he have a conversation with. And it's like in reality, there's no need for that. There's no need for him to show us how important he is and how sick he is. And I don't need to know that people pay him $2 million a year for work with him personally. You know, it's like whatever. You know, it's good for you. Much more my vibration, where you don't have any script, where you heal your past, but you heal your past in a different way by going into your deep meditations and just become energy. And then you're gonna see stuff from other lives, from your previous experiences during this lifetime that are gonna pop up into your brain, and you're gonna be in the right state of mind to say, oh, so this is why I've been doing this throughout my life. Okay, thank you. I forgive, I forget, and move on. But all that happened while you are on your meditation, you know. So that's what is different. And you can see the difference. For example, if you sign up for Tony Robbins events, because I'm still in his mailing list, and I receive every time that he's going to do a workshop, it's like, and they take months to fill it up. He usually put like 2,500 people because he wants to make at least $1 million per workshop for himself. You know, so he fills up with 2,500 people his workshops, but it takes him months. With Dispenza, we were 1,350. That's what he said, and but it filled up in 10 minutes. You know, no promotion, no nothing. It's like everybody's like hooked, and as soon as we're open, boom, everybody jumps in through the door, and whoever got a chair, and so be it, you know.
Well, you were saying he has these groupies too, which are probably like
top
of his mail, you know, on their
but not many people have the ability to spend $5,000 in a week of work every month around the world, you know. So let's say that out of the 1,300, let's say maximum 100, probably let's say 300 going top. You know, it was people that are repeating. You know, the rest is just new people. You know, and or people that are retaking that after years. You know, so it's been a journey, and I like it a lot. Awesome. He touched a lot of the information during the workshop from Bruce Limpton, the you know, about epigenetics and how your environment is the one that creates. Is the one that creates this need for you to fire some genes and downgrade some other genes. And then he take it to the meditations. He said, become no one, nothing, nowhere, and no time. And then deregulate the genes that they are not serving you, you know, and change them. So anyway, for our group of meditation, what I want,
epigenetics. I'd love to.
Yeah, because what I want to do.
Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, we can go for that on our next live, and for our meditation group, what I want is to share all the stuff that I was applying it, and then we can all, because most of us are local, you know, get together for the healings, because the healings are extremely easy, and we are like this to get to the level that we need to get to be able to do those healings. So it's gonna be a little bit of a change and transformation on the meditations as we're doing it. And the idea is that, you know, that we can all become the healers that we can be. And I have a place here, a center where we can actually practice it, you know, and start helping people to transform themselves, you know. So it's a great thing, and it's a great way for me to give you guys something back, for the people that has been consistent with us, and also to expose you all to the information and the knowledge, so you can all decide if you want to eventually join one of his workshops. He's gonna open an online advanced workshop this year, like a middle of the year. So that will open the possibilities for everybody else. You know, you don't have to go through massive amounts of money to be able to go through these workshops.
Although, like you were saying, and some people experience, is like being in person with other people, and that energy is also healing itself too. So
but in reality, if you reach those levels, online, you can connect with them. You can connect with them.
When we do our meditation, by the way, tonight we're having our meditation, speaking of at 7 standard, and we experience that when we're all in it together, even though we're not together physically. Energetically we're together, spiritually we're together, and so therefore we do have that similar energy, is at least so I know we've
definitely
time at this point. So let's just share that it's a new month. So for those that are interested in joining us this entire month, and I know Jacob is going to be doing the newer version of these meditations, so it may end up going, but either way, if we do end up going in one location, a physical location, we'll still have a Zoom for others to be able to join us.
Totally.
Of course, right? And that's $50, and you get to come every Monday this month. Or if you just want to check it out for the one time, it's $20 to join. Oh my gosh, I mean, we're talking about 5,000, 50, 20. So I highly recommend it. And let us know, message us if you want more information. I'll be sharing some more about it through my, when I post this, and through my story as well.
Absolutely.
And it's easy. Venmo. That's how it's going to be. Venmo to Jacob, and send you the link. So yay. Oh, and one thing I want to actually share, which I haven't actually told you yet, I launched a Facebook group myself, and it's a high vibe support tribe. So I've been actually sharing about that for the last couple of weeks. And just to let you know, Jacob, how I do everything with my brain tumor and everything. And a couple different support groups, and it was just very negative, and I left there feeling worse than when I went there. So I remember thinking there needs to be some kind of like a high vibe support group, and so I created High Vibe Support Tribe, and today was my first day of launching it, and I went live.
Awesome. Good luck.
No, thank you. So just for me to be able to share more information and go live more as well within a group. So that's just something to just share with more people. So
Excellent. Best of luck with that group. Definitely.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining. And I don't see any questions. So till next time, and join us tonight for meditation. All right.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.